Hey guys, what's going on? It's Eli back with another review video, and that's right. You read the title of what I'm reviewing, and at long last, I am finally reviewing this. Ghostbusters Afterlife. Yes, finally, Ghostbusters Afterlife. I am finally reviewing it, so let's get down to it. Well, first of all, because Ghostbusters, there's a very interesting history about, what took so long for something like this to come along. Well, as we all know, if we remember our history, Ghostbusters, after Ghostbusters 2, because, there were plans for another Ghostbusters film. And Ghostbusters 3 would have had, say, the Ghostbusters in hell. But that never came to be because, well, it would have given Ghostbusters 3 a PG-13 rating. And for a long time, it was in hell of a development. It's true, pardon my French, but it's true, in a hell of a development. Because I guess not too happy with what was going on, and for a couple years, for example, we did get, say, a Ghostbusters video game that was closest to a Ghostbusters 3, I guess you could say, with the original actors reprising their roles, the four guys. But in 2016, as we all know, we got the awful, Ghostbusters remake, but, at least it's not set in the same universe, do you know what I'm saying? But, however, after the failure of Ghostbusters 2016, plans for, say, sequels, etc., following that Ghostbusters film were abandoned, scrapped, you name it, and the rights to Ghostbusters were given back to Ivan Reitman. And his son, Jason Reitman, stepped in and told his dad, hey, let me give me a chance, let me see if I can find a good story, etc. And thus, with, because, it was basically, this movie was a passing the torch to new, fresh of actors, characters, and, father and son, the father passing the torch to his son, Ivan Reitman, to his son, Jason, you know what I'm saying? Makes total sense. And Jason Reitman, he basically knew these characters. He grew up, basically, when his dad was directing the first two Ghostbusters films, and Jason, he even made a cameo in Ghostbusters 2. Did I not? I probably did mention this, yeah. That Jason Reitman made a cameo in one of the opening scenes where, Ray and Winston, they're at some kid's birthday party, and Jason makes a cameo. He talks to Ray saying, my dad has told me you guys are full of crap. That was him. So, yeah. Unfortunately, sadly, I wanted to go see this in theaters, but I never got the chance to, which sucks. But I did see it, on streaming and, on Prime, Amazon, etc. You name it, because, bought it on Prime. And, I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed Ghostbusters Afterlife. With the fresh new cast of actors and, characters, Carrie Coon plays Khalil, I think that's how you say her name, the mother of her two kids. Trevor, played by Finn Wolfhard, and one character that really is, the star of this movie, Phoebe, played by McKenna Grace. And McKenna Grace, she's been in a lot recently, from Captain Marvel. I could go on, and who remembers Crash and Bernstein from Disney XD? Yeah, she was on there, too. So Phoebe was so good in this, and even my mom told me this, that my mom can tell, Phoebe was on the autism spectrum, had autism. I didn't even think of that until my mom told me so. Okay, well, because my mom could definitely tell, yeah, listen to your mothers. Anyways, some of the other characters, Phoebe's friend, Podcast, that's literally his name, Podcast, played by Logan Kim, he was good too, even my mom said so too. And a friendship between Podcast and Phoebe, and Podcast even has a podcast online. There's Lucky, played by Celestia O'Connor, and maybe that's how you say her first name, but her last name O'Connor. So Lucky, yeah, there's a romance between Trevor and Lucky. Even like say they're working at like this drive-through or drive-in restaurant, you know. And Paul Rudd, aka Ant-Man. Paul Rudd plays Gruberson, who is this teacher at a class, and there's a lot like a romance between both him and the kid's mother, you know. Yeah, so he was good too, and he recognized like what Phoebe and the other kids they found in this this farmhouse. Well, because Phoebe and Trevor, they are the grandchildren of Egon Spangler, and their mother is Egon's daughter. And for a while, because many people that knew Egon thought that he was crazy and he was a butthole and just left everybody he knew, just stuff like that. But no, because Egon never did so, and we find out later on in the film. And we see, because Finn, he fires up the Ecto-1, and just like what we see in the first ever teaser of Ghostbusters Afterlife, where, you know, we see the Ecto-1 under a sheet. Yeah, that's cool. And even Anna Potts, who once again reprises the role of Janny, she appears a bit early in the film, and of course later on we see all the other returning cast members of Ghostbusters, you know, family members of Ghostbusters, which we'll get to them in a couple of minutes. Like, you know, them trying to chase down ghosts, and even Phoebe and Podcast, they're after this one ghost that I guess, like me and my mom, we were basically saying that he was like this Slimer wannabe, basically. And we got an appearance of Stay Puft, like mini Stay Puft marshmallows. Little midgets of them, and the Terror Dogs come back. Like they capture Gooberson and they capture Khalil, and then at one point Lucky's captured too by one of the Terror Dogs. Poor Trevor, yeah. Some cameos we get. There's a couple of cameos we get, like most notably J.K. Simmons plays Ivo Shandor. Now, I never really knew about this character very well. Like, Ivo Shandor has been very important to Ghostbusters. Like, I think from probably the Ghostbusters game and something else. Like, yeah, I mean, I saw something of this, you know, even before I started recording. Some other, like, cameos we get, like Josh Gad made a cameo. He was he did a voice of a ghost. Muncher, he was the voice of that ghost, yeah. The Slimer wannabe was named Muncher. That was Josh Gad. That's cool. And also, we get the return of Gozer, played by Olivia Wilde. Yeah, Olivia Wilde is Gozer, while Gozer's voice is voiced by Sharir, I don't know how you pronounce her name, but yeah. So Olivia Wilde being dubbed, but apparently Emma Portner is the spirit plays Gozer as well, the spirit of Gozer. How can I tell? I couldn't tell. Where was Emma Portner? Like, how can I tell? Just, I don't know. Like, when Gozer showed up again at one point, like in a full body appearance, was it Emma Portner? I don't know. I honestly don't know. I have to look at the behind the scenes for one thing, but also this was amazing because the one who was like the body performance of Egon Spangler. Oh God, I almost lost him for a second. Where'd he go? Well, apparently, like, yeah, I'm looking at an IMDb, like, he's credited, okay, he's credited as the ghost farmer, but really it's Egon, and that, of course, and the body performance of Egon Spangler is Bob Gunton. Now, Bob Gunton, he would be best known, like, he was in Patch Adams, the Robin Williams film, and he was Captain Maxwell in an episode of Star Trek The Next Generation of the USS Phoenix, and which was the debut of the Cardassians. So yeah, that too. And so that was amazing. He really was the perfect, he really nailed it being the body performance of Egon Spangler. They found a way. They did it, bringing Harold Ramis back to life, and for this. And it makes perfect sense because, hey, Egon can be a ghost too. So, and later on in the film, because a few other things I forgot to mention, like at one point, the kids, they do get put in juvie, I guess, and Lucky's dad is a policeman, and at one point, Phoebe calls the the office, where Ray works at, because the Ghostbusters, they went out of business. And then later on in the film, Ray, Venkman, and Winston, the three of them come in and they take on Gozer. And there were a lot of traps set that Egon set to capture Gozer. And even the ghost of Egon showing up and helping his granddaughter, aim at Gozer. That was amazing. That one shot where all the four guys are there. That's amazing. Yeah, Egon doesn't have any lines. He just makes a smile and just, and I just love it because, well, here's another thing. The music was fantastic. Although, it's not Elmore Bernstein, the new composer for this film does an outstanding job, bringing back some of the classic music from the Ghostbusters films, It's amazing. And the ending is very sweet because, well, after all the ghosts are defeated, Gozer and etc., well, Egon descends, if I'm saying that, if that's the correct word, descends into the sky, and words that come up on screen saying, "For Harold." That's how you do it. And the ending, the epilogue, well, the classic Ghostbusters theme plays. The Ecto-1 drives into New York, and a couple of two end credit scenes. First, we see, Venkman and Sigourney Weaver. Yep, Dana. I just find it funny because, Dana appears literally near the end of the movie. That's where she appears. Out throughout the whole entire movie, she appears during one of the end credit scenes. And remember in the opening of Ghostbusters, where Venkman, questions, these two teens and, would shock them? Well, yeah, because Dana does the same to Venkman, and even Venkman gets a taste of his own medicine. And the final end credit scene, we actually see, it's a deleted scene, and they insert it, they put it in Ghostbusters Afterlife, and it's a scene with Egon and Janny talking, and we cut to, well, Janny, talking with Winston, and Winston became this millionaire, and you know what, even though he became a millionaire, he still cared about his family, of course, the members of Ghostbusters, and thanks to Winston, he's planning to reopen Ghostbusters, Ghostbusters back in business, and that machine they had, keeping the ghosts in, well, something happens, and it kind of flashes, and a sound goes off, I guess, and yep, it's basically teasing for a sequel, pretty much. And even from what I heard, Jason and the cast of Ghostbusters Afterlife, they're up for doing a sequel. I'm up for seeing a sequel, too. I was up for there being a sequel even before I watched Ghostbusters Afterlife. It makes perfect sense, and it's clearly obvious that we're going to get a sequel. We'll just have to wait and see, and when the news breaks, and I think my mom told me that she saw this in an interview with Jason Reitman and Finn Wolfhard, that, they were kind of smiling, and it seemed like, yeah, they were kind of hinting that there was going to be a Ghostbusters Afterlife 2. And did I forget to mention, because coincidentally, Finn Wolfhard, because he's best known for Stranger Things, in Stranger Things, him and all the other kids, they are dressed up as Ghostbusters. Talk about a big coincidence, am I right? But, with all that being said, Ghostbusters Afterlife, a 10 out of 10 for sure. I really enjoyed Ghostbusters Afterlife, and I'm up for there being a sequel, and hopefully there's going to. We'll just have to wait and see, when the news breaks, as I said, you name it. And you guys let me know what you think of Ghostbusters Afterlife, what you thought of my review, and just leave a comment, and give this review a like as always. And with all that being said, thank you very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed my review of Ghostbusters Afterlife. More reviews coming your way. They're going to be awesome. Keep looking forward, and I'll see you guys in the next video / review. Take care, and stay tuned later tonight where I'm going to be reviewing, I'll be reviewing a CG animated film straight from Sony that's on Netflix, and it's very interesting, I should say. It's a family facing off against robots. You might know what I'm talking about, but for those of you that do or do not, stay tuned later tonight. Take care, peace out, and I ain't afraid of no ghost.